we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am out by the enclosures right now, and I know we promised to put Gypsy with Slinky, and that's the big goal for her, but I do need her to lay eggs first to time it out properly. So this morning, I'm out here cutting the grass in the rain. It's pouring rain, and at Gypsy's enclosure, her and the male Bivitatus, who hasn't left yet, he's looking at us from just above the shelf. He's very upset with me right now. Him and Gypsy have been very close to each other and glued at the screen. And today I saw him as I'm making passes and cutting the grass. He is flicking his tongue at her, and then on her side of the screen, she's laying there right up against him and closing her eyes. And the eyes being closed is always a huge sign that she's receptive. Oh shoot, you know, I knew as soon as I started talking I was gonna ruin that. Diesel is on the other side of her. I actually would have opened the door for that male Bivitatus and Gypsy to have a go at it and see if we couldn't produce babies with the two of them. They would just go as regular water monitors, which would be totally fine, but that would start her off with a smaller male first go around and get a little experience and know that she could put the eggs in the ground properly. She doesn't have to be unfertilized before she goes with Slinky. It can be with another lizard, but there is no door between the two of them. So I was like, shoot, but there is a door on the other side of her that links her to Diesel, the large male black dragon. There is a pass-through door for them. He's a very calm, somewhat shy monitor. So that works out well for breeding because he doesn't, he's not gonna stay out and push himself on the female. He will almost let her come to him in the water or the lay box or something. So she has already found, I was actually rushing to get cameras because I don't have breeding cameras up in the enclosures. So I got two of my old Ring cameras, got batteries in them, got them linked up to the new Wi-Fi here. I haven't put any breeding cameras in the enclosures yet because again, I've been focusing on construction. But I want her to have a good experience, non-stressful. If it gets stressful, I want to rush out here and break it up and get her separated, which with him is merely just walking out here. He'll go right back to his hide box, which again works out well for this kind of scenario. If you have two non-shy lizards, two very tame lizards, they won't care that you're there, and if they're not getting along, and it can get pretty nasty with some water monitors, they will stay going at it, even when you're like on them trying to break it up. So they get very focused. So Gypsy has found her way into his enclosure. She is laying on his log now, and when I walked over and started filming, he was already over here in the front corner. So he already knew she was in here and was already seeking her out. So there's Gypsy. She really is a great size. I really think it's gonna work out with Slinky. And when you see her laying there, I mean, she is every bit of 4.5 feet. Even with some tail missing, she might even go 5. So she's a good looking female, good weight on her, and I definitely think she's ready. So what we're gonna do, unlocking that door, and we'll go into her enclosure. They were fed hard-boiled quail eggs and chicken eggs yesterday. She did not eat her eggs, which is awfully weird. But these monitors are weird like that. They, some don't like eggs. Some don't like cooked eggs. They only like raw eggs. So Gypsy, who typically, I guess, is a pretty food-driven monitor, doesn't really care for the hard-boiled eggs, I guess. But the door's open. Next water change, the door will actually get swung behind her water, so there's no mistake closing of the door when they're nudging around. She does not have a lay box in here, but we can wait till everything happens and then get the lay box in here for her. And maybe we can get a good shot of that male Bivitatus. He is a handsome devil. There you go. On the GoPro, I'm seeing the stripes. He has beautiful bands. absolutely gorgeous. I do love that lizard. And it was cool to see him interacting with the female. I hope my buddy Jake has plans to breed him, because he would cross back into a sulfur, probably make some very banded sulfurs. So I'm gonna get the ring cameras installed. I have 2 of the stick-up cams, and all I need to do is just install them on the wall, maybe about this height or something like that, pointed into the enclosure, and the same on the other one, and it'll do a fair job of looking in the enclosure. And what's great about Ring and the other camera systems that I have here, they will only show me when there's an alert. Whereas the Ring, I can scroll back throughout the day, things recorded, the whole day is recorded. So I could scroll back, and something that didn't turn on the camera, I could still see that video. So I can scroll through the entire day and see when a female is laying in a position to take weight off her stomach. I could see the activity from the shy monitors, which is crucial for the oh, that's right, we didn't do the naming video yet. We have chosen the names, we just got to do the name plaques and shoot that video. We will do that for you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these cameras set up, and I'll show you how they look. Okay, I have the cameras installed. But while this is going on, I actually want to show you another project where Conan was put with one of the other female sulfurs. Again, we'll have a name very soon. And I'm going to open up this cage. Hopefully she doesn't take off. But that looks like a very gravid female that's laying on that log. So she does have a lay box. I'm not going to disturb her to look in there and see if she has started to lay. I'll have to zoom in on editing. She's getting very, very husky. So that's a really good sign that our pairing probably did work out. I would assume by all that swelling that they are probably done. So I probably need, the next time I see him in his enclosure by himself, get that door shut. I don't see him anywhere, just glancing. Problem is with that lay box, they both like to choose the lay box when it's there. I'll have to lure Conan out with some food and get him separated. But I will show you, I have a live view on my phone showing that Ring camera, which shows the enclosure really, really well. Hopefully that comes out on video good, but that shows the entire enclosure, and I have one in each of the enclosures, and the male is actually out. He's actually hiding behind his water tub. So I'm gonna sneak back and see what I can't watch on the camera from the safety of my shop, and just be prepared with the pair of gloves if I have to run out here and separate these two. All right, I am back in the hallway. I'm soaking wet and covered in grass debris. I've been weed whacking the property along the perimeter. Kagan's been monitoring them on the camera while I've been doing work, and they have had no fighting. He's explored a lot of that enclosure, has been interested in the male on the other side, and now Gypsy's just on the shelf above him. So no fighting is a good sign. If the female's not ready, she'll often let the male know she doesn't want anything to do with them. The fact that I think she's just at the beginning of her cycle, the way she's laying. She keeps laying in those odd positions. So I think she's gonna be receptive in a couple days. But as long as there's no aggression between the two, I think they're okay. And if there's any mating or anything like that, it's typically at night anyway and in the water. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it. And if anything happens on the Ring camera, we'll show you.
So I came in to check in on Gypsy and Diesel, and the first thing I noticed is that there is a door wide open in the hallway. Now I can see Diesel all the way down at the end of this hallway, perched up in the corner down there, which means that the enclosure was not latched properly and he managed to get out. But the whole reason why we do what we do and why Jerry has built this hallway the way that he has is, in the event of this happening, this hallway acts as an airlock. So this animal, while he did get out of his cage, he is then trapped in the airlock and cannot go anywhere. So now it's my job to get the wild-caught black dragon back into his enclosure. Cool. All right, so what I've done for trying to get Diesel back into his enclosure is, because he and Gypsy were being paired, currently his enclosure and her enclosure, I'm able to open the doors to both of them. So hopefully when I come down here, he's just going to run down the hallway and choose one of them. Hey buddy. I'm gonna stay as far to the right side as I can. Hey Diesel. How you doing, bubs? You're okay. You're okay, handsome. Get you going down that hallway, though, yeah? Alright, good boy. Good boy. Oh, there's Lily going after him. Lily does not want Diesel near her door right now. Alright, Diesels. We're gonna keep moving, bubbers. Gosh, he is a big boy, huh? He's a big boy. You're okay. Oh, big slaps. Come on, let's leave Miss Lily alone. He is so interested in Lily, he doesn't care about running away from me. You're gonna get Forrest all upset. Keep going. Good boy. Good boy. Slow walk. Alright, he's giving me the look, but he is slowly going back to his enclosure. Keep going, buddy. Lily is not a happy camper. She did not like having Diesel near her. Forrest is at the front of his door. There we go. Keep on trucking, Bubba. Keep on trucking. Oh, alright, he's come to the first open door. Let's see if he chooses it. Alright, well here's what I can do. Now that he is on this side, I can partially close this door. Can partially close this one. See if that helps make like a sort of barrier to get him back into where he's supposed to go. I'm gonna walk back around to the other side to see if that doesn't help urge him in there. All right, he did in fact choose to go into his enclosure. That's Gypsy's enclosure. There he goes. Calmly into the hide box. All right, I'll take that. I will take that. I've come back out here to check up on Diesel and Gypsy while Jerry is at work today. So Jerry set up the ring cams last night, and it's kind of funny, the notification that he put on there is like a train sound. It goes woo woo every time we get an alert for these two cages. And I don't know if anybody else remembers that old commercial that's like lots and lots of trains. But all night, that's all we were just saying back and forth to each other as we were watching the videos was lots and lots of trains. Anyways, so we watched the cameras. We actually, after getting them hooked up yesterday, Jerry brought me his phone, and while I was sitting in the snake room cleaning snakes for, multiple hours, I just had that phone right next to me, always checking back and forth between I'd clean something real quick and then go right back to looking at the screen to check their interactions and make sure that they were behaving amicably together. And we didn't notice any strange behavior between them. It actually took Diesel a while to want to go into her enclosure because he was constantly pacing back and forth along the wall with the Bivitatus male. He was almost more interested in that other male, in the presence of that other male, than he was in the presence of Gypsy, which is so funny. But eventually, he had slunk into his hide box. She slunk into his hide box as well with him, and we should be able to pull that footage off of the ring cameras and actually insert it here. It's probably not going to be the highest quality, but we will be able to see that footage of her going in there with him. And they stayed like that most of the night. It wasn't until early this morning that either of them left the hide box. And once they were in there, we were watching the cameras and there was a little bit of tussling, it seemed like, but it really was very calm, all things considered. And one of the things I wanted to do today was go in, check on them, make sure that none of them had, any damage to them, anything majorly wrong. We can expect a couple scratches here and there. That is monitor breeding, after all. They have sharp teeth and claws. But, from what I could see of Diesel upon my initial examination of him, he actually looks perfectly fine. I didn't notice any, Oh, hello, Alexander. Did you hear me talking in front of your door? He says, "Why aren't you filming me?" Excuse me? That is too funny. I looked up and in the camera screen, I saw this head just... Oh, anyways. Alexander, you made me lose my train of thought. Shucks. Yeah, okay. So upon my initial examination of Diesel, I can't see any visible cuts or scratches, nips, anything like that, which is incredibly surprising. She is actually still in his... Oh, you're slinging mud on me, man. She is actually still in his hide box right now. So in just a second, I'm going to try and get a closer shot of her, a look at, make sure she looks like she's doing okay. But yeah, it was very cool to actually monitor their behavior, monitor the monitor's behavior on the ring cameras, completely separate and devoid of human interaction, to where they don't act naturally. If we're standing nearby, they're gonna act a little different than if they think that they're alone and just in their enclosure. So yeah, let me go in, check on Gypsy, and hopefully I can get a couple shots of how they're looking right now. I was able to poke my phone into Gypsy's box and turn on my flashlight and see a little better than there. Upon initial looks, I can't see anything wrong with her. It doesn't look like she has any damage either. I'm looking specifically around her head, anywhere around the back of her head to where the male might grab onto her there, her shoulders, her neck. I tried seeing her toes, but she did have her toes kind of tucked up underneath her. But I didn't see any blood, on the box. Her tail looks fine. We'll also try and get a shot in here of Diesel. But I'm also not going to push him hard. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's in that really tightly confined box right now, and I don't want to stress him out more. So I am not going to try poking the camera in his face. If he was in his own box, I would try and get a better shot of him, because his box takes up that full length of that slab from the back all the way to the front. But he is actually in her box right now, and he's in that smaller box. So I don't want him to feel like he's completely trapped and stress him out. So we can always get shots of him later, but they look good. So far, it looks like they are getting along well and acting amicably together. There we go. You are such a ham, Alexander. The door is open. I'm right here. I'm right here. Hey. Hey, you big lug. Oh my goodness. What do you think you're doing? What do you think this is? Huh? What do you think this is? Oh my goodness. He wants to come out so bad. He says, please let me out. Please let me out. Please.
Okay, a little update on him. I'm going to try and do this as quietly as possible to not disturb. But Diesel and Gypsy are sunning themselves together on the shelf. And I don't, again, she hasn't settled in, and we'll try and open the door and do it quietly. Yeah, see, he's pretty in tune to me opening the door. So I'll just go to right here. They're both sunning themselves peacefully together, so that's an amazing sign that they're getting along. Then I'm going to discuss what happened. I'm going to back off totally from them so they can relax again. But what happened yesterday is exactly why we have this hallway. I was in and out of the enclosures because I was, just in case I had to break them up, I have gloves sitting out here on the back table that I could run out here, grab my gloves, and run in there and separate the animals. The hose was already on in case I had to spray them down. It was ready to stop them from hurting each other, basically, and that can happen so quickly that I didn't put the carabiners on the enclosures intentionally, so it didn't waste any time taking it off. But what happened is, you know, I have those little pulls inside the enclosures to open them up, and an animal can get its claw by that pull and actually unlatch the enclosure without the carabiner being there. So that's most likely what happened. And Diesel got into the hallway, and all Kagan had to do was open the enclosure door, found his way right back in there. No problem whatsoever. But that's exactly why things happen. And that's why we have that airlock hallway. No one got loose. All they did was escape into another cage. And I mean, I think that's important on any animal to have something small like that. You're showing a group of friends your animals, they walk into the one cage, then you walk into the second. It's a smart play. I'm gonna start another video working on the quail today, and I'll further keep an eye on them. Hopefully we have some good news in the next couple days. Right now, the behavior is very promising. All right, guys, it's a couple days into the future, and things are moving along. You can see Gypsy is in her water right there. Diesel was laying right on top of her with very, very promising behavior. I don't know if you guys are seeing her in the water, but think things are happening. Most of the monitors, water monitors, tend to mate at night. But if you guys remember, the pairing just before we got Gypsy was Diesel and Sunny. And I believe Sunny is done laying her eggs. So we're gonna go in here. Oh, couldn't be better. She's between her water and the wall right there. In fact, you can see her tip of her nose sticking out. That's a problem in the winter, them hiding in those obscure spots. But let's look into her lay box. I don't know if you guys saw it before. It was nothing but tunnels. I feel like it's smoothed over. Shoot, now I can't guarantee, but it looks like she filled what was there. So I'm gonna dig it out and see if I can't find eggs. Out of the 10 eggs we just dug up, plus one in the water, so she laid 11, and there's only 3 plump eggs out of all of them. My best guess is they never locked, but they didn't fight, and they were able to cohabitate in the enclosure. Maybe the size difference, maybe she was able to hide in little cracks and stuff. But we do get Bumblebee back very soon, so we'll have a smaller male to try with her. And we do have the smaller black dragon male to also try with her once he's just a little bit bigger. So we have other options for her to try. And I mean, it needs to be in a het black dragon line since she's het black dragon, to make sense. But still, we're happy with 3 eggs. That's better than none. I mean, they could be all unfertilized and go Partho. So we're gonna put them in the incubator. I wish I could say that that's all my stuff in the incubator, but it's mostly snake eggs from Kagan. But I don't know. I do have some little things in there, but not much. But let's see what happens with Gypsy and Diesel.
It has definitely been really cool to see the behavior of these animals throughout the course of a day. It's just so neat to see what they want to explore, where they want to look in the enclosures, you know, where Gypsy wants to poke her head, where they want to lay and bask together in the sun. After that first time we saw them on the cameras go into the hide box together, we actually saw them multiple times going into his hide box together, which was very neat. And for some reason, the cameras didn't record it, but as we were going through and looking at the footage, we found a confirmed lock between the two of them. You can see they are perched together up on the shelf, and then slowly over time, she's lifting her tail and he's sliding his under hers, which is just a really cool thing to actually have confirmed that they did indeed lock. I would love to know if anyone watching has ever used cameras to either watch their own animals, to observe breeding behavior, to watch wild animals. Tell me what kind of camera you use. Tell me what you thought about whatever type of camera that you used. And if you haven't, share your thoughts on what you think about it. I would love to know what everybody's opinions are on using the technology like this to observe animals in their enclosures.
All right, guys, it's the next day, and exciting news. We didn't get video of it. We didn't have our phones on us, but we did sneak out here last night, and I saw a positive lock with Gypsy and Diesel. Very, very exciting. And the most exciting part of all this is we know that Gypsy has been introduced to a larger male, having never bred before. There's no aggression. everything's been positive. It's so much better when a female is a calm female that when she's not ready, she just slowly walks away. If she has that fear from a bad interaction, things could be tough with a large male like Slinky, but all of this behavior is amazing. I did learn a valuable lesson about my camera placement. You know, on both enclosures, I have my cameras placed. I cannot disturb them. I can hear them wrestling a little bit in the box, but they're facing that way. That is the tub where they were locked last night. In fact, our last video from yesterday showed where he was on top of her. I don't think I got that on video, but after he walked away, she was still in the water. I think I showed you guys that. The cameras aren't giving us that view. My old enclosures had the cameras up front, but on the back of the enclosures were the hide box and water, because they drained off the back. So it showed that mating behavior. The only thing that I missed from that video view was the lay box that was up front. It was the lay box in the door, and I flip-flopped those things, and I regret doing that. It's actually the opposite of what I want here. It is what it is. I feel like a camera on that side is also gonna miss a lot, but maybe I can hang them up in the corner viewing this way, and then I would get to see their activity, and hopefully, because most of the mating's in the water, these large male enclosures where most everything happens, I want to do a large water feature. We're gonna build a natural large water feature for these larger male enclosures where most of the breeding is gonna happen for the water monitors. So I think that's it. That's what this video is gonna be about. We're gonna have to build her lay box. I think Kagan and I discussed it last night, that is the last time I'm gonna dig up eggs with that. I mean, I can't describe what the soil is, but it has so much detritus in it. It's just like soggy, wet mud. And from top to bottom, that's what it's like in the lay boxes. And I'm killing the eggs. And I think even though like there was only 3 good eggs and what was it, 7 or 8 bad eggs that were slugs, maybe she held on to them too long because she didn't like the soil. It was too wet or not the right temperature, and she kept digging and digging and digging. Maybe they were all good eggs and there's just still only 3 plump ones left. Or maybe they were bad to begin with. But I feel like I've been losing clutch after clutch after clutch, and it's a soil problem and I need to fix it. I did get one guy. This is what we all complain about today. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to call you back. We have messaged so many people to give us estimates on delivering sand to our house. There are land clearing companies and dump trucks and stuff everywhere. We got one guy to call us back. I think he wanted $1,100 for a load of sand, which is like high retail, like a garden center when they sell it by the yard to put in the back of your pickup truck. I think they're charging us like full retail by the yard, and then a delivery fee is what that guy was. And then another guy at like I think $450, but I don't think it was but like 8 yards. So it was almost the same, really. We're still waiting back for a couple more prices. It should be at twice its value. I think today it should be like $400 for 18 yards of sand. So we're waiting for an actual decent price, but we need to do that soon. I need to do it for the other video I'm working on right now with the quail. But I think that's all for this one, guys. I can just talk and talk now. I'm happy. I hope you guys are as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. We will film a new ending for the videos. All right, guys, until next time.